Yo, hello, welcome. It is currently 2 a.m. right now, but I am trying to get all the videos I can within 2025, so can't stop the grind. I know in my last video, someone commented about how they couldn't hear me, so hopefully I fixed it. If it's still not good, please let me know because I am trying, and I really hope that you guys can hear me so you can hear my opinion. But anyways, today's video is gonna be on advice, right? And I'm still stuffy because this is like only about 4 or 5 hours later, maybe. No, only like 2 hours, because I think I recorded the last video at midnight. But this is only like 2 hours after the other video, so I still, might be sick. But anyways, today's video is about how advice is useless, and I'm not saying that face on, like advice is useless. Like I'm not. Well, I am saying that, but I'm not directly saying that. And what I mean by that is basically when you ask for someone advice. When you ask for someone for advice, there we go. Usually it's the person giving the advice that it pertains to the most, right? And you might be wondering why I'm making this video, right? And that's because earlier from right now, right? Someone asked for my advice on something, and it kind of made me realize that I'm basically telling them what I would have wanted to hear, right? Not what they need to hear. And that kind of got me thinking, right? With every bit of advice that I was ever told. And you kind of get that feeling of personalization, right? Because whenever you're told advice, right? From someone else, at least, it's based on what they've lived through and what they've experienced, which is why it's called advice, right? Because it's someone else giving you information retaining to a certain topic, but they never experienced that topic like you did, right? Like you probably know, oh my goodness, you probably know everything, right, about it. Like you know what you want to hear, you know what you're hoping to hear. So whenever you get advice and it's not what you're hoping, it's like, wow, maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? Maybe I'm in the wrong because it's not what aligns with what your beliefs would be with the topic, if that makes any sense. Oh my goodness. And so I definitely think that advice is good in certain scenarios where you don't know where to go, right? So like, let's just say you want to run a 5K. I need advice, right? And if someone says to just run, right, that's like great advice, right? Because to put it simply, you need to run, right? Like I'm not saying that that's useless, because of course that's useful. You need to know that you need to run in order to do a 5K, right? Unless you want to walk, but that's going to take like forever. But there are certain cases where advice is just useless, right? For example, right, let's just say you don't have any friends, right? And someone gives you advice and they're like, you ask someone for advice and they go, why don't you get out of the house more, right? And I feel like for some people that's almost impossible, right? For some people, getting out of the house is extremely difficult because the way that some people are made, right? Some people are made in the way that they're very antisocial, very introverted, right? And me being one of them, right? So if I were to come to someone and say, hey, I'm not making any friends, how can I make friends, right? I'm pretty lonely, right? And you just go, get outside more, right? Socialize. Like, I don't want to hear that because I've tried, right? What if I've already tried to get out? And every time it just fails, right? Because I don't know how to, right? I don't know how to socialize. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make friends, right? Because things like that are natural to some, right? And there are also other cases of advice, like if you're asking someone for advice on how to study, right? Which is what I've been asked a lot of times. And I always feel really bad, right? Because I have nothing to say. Because the truth is, I don't really study. And if I do, I just cram everything with like 8 minutes to spare running on like 0 hours of sleep, right? And so it kind of like, it's kind of weird because whenever I'm giving advice, right, I try to make it more specific to them, but to be honest, I don't know what's going on, right? I don't know the full extent, right? Because let's just say you're like, oh, I can't make friends, right? Can you help me with that? I don't know if you're introverted, if you're extroverted, if you're antisocial, or if you have like some type of thing that doesn't allow that, right? Like I would not know. Or something that happened in the past, right, that I don't know about that prevents you from going out and meeting, right? I don't know what you've been through, right? I don't know what you've lived, right? I don't know how you've lived. I don't know your point, right? And so perspective is a really huge thing when it comes to advice, right? Because if you're not in an understanding of what they're going through, then you can't help them, right? And it's just simple. It's as simple as that, right? Because without knowing what someone goes through, it's extremely hard to help them out with whatever they're going through. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say an example because I can't think of one. It's 2:30 in the morning. But if you're asking someone for discipline, right? You for advice on like being more disciplined, right? You want to, I don't know, go to the gym more, but I just find it hard and blah, 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 yada, yada, right? And they go, just start, bro. And starting is the hardest part for you. Like, you don't know where to start. You don't know how to start. You're too overwhelmed. Like that advice sucks, right? And I feel like the best advice that you learn from is the advice that you give to other people, because you're taking your personal experiences and trying to help someone else. But in doing so, you're kind of understanding your point on the matter, right? Like, oh, I can't make friends, right? How do you make friends? And then that kind of makes you think, like, how do I make friends, right? Like, it's such a normal thing in human nature to go out and socialize and make friends, right? To be social, right? That's a key part in why we're here, right? Socializing is a very big thing. And when someone asks you how to do it, it's such a trivial question, and to some it might be easy, right? To some it comes easy too, right? They just have it, right? Others, they have to make it, and some might never have it, right? And I feel like that understanding that people have within their own experiences really shape everything. And so, I mean, I don't know, right? I'm gonna keep this video a little shorter because the last one was super long. But if I'm gonna say anything, right, advice is not bad, okay? Take advice if it's good advice, but just know that advice shouldn't shape how you behave, right? It shouldn't like dictate where you go on certain things, right? But then again, right, if you don't know like anything on the topic, like if you need advice with like dating, I guess is a good example in a way, I wouldn't say like, oh, we're supposed to, okay, I wouldn't say like don't take any advice, right? Because some advice is genuinely helpful because some people know what they're talking about. But I think it's completely up to you to determine whether you want to listen to them or not. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Like if someone says, hey, I want to make YouTube videos, can you give me some advice? You could be like, oh yeah, because you've been through it, and you should take their advice genuinely because they've done it. But it might not work for you, and that's fine. then you could figure out what works and what doesn't. And that applies for everything, right? You want to take their advice and find out like why they would say it, how it would help, and maybe just get a little bit of an understanding. So if you're going to take anything away, right, that should be that advice isn't completely useful, right? It may be useful. Oh, useful? No, I think I said useful. I'm so sorry. I meant to say useless this whole video. If I said useful, I am so sorry. But I guess the main takeaway here is that advice isn't useless to the person actually saying it, because they've lived and experienced it, so they know what's going on. They've lived through it. So if you're going to take anything away, still give advice, but just keep in mind that you're not going to make the biggest change in the world. It's basically just a temporary fix. So I'm sorry if I said useful this video. I meant to say useless. It's 2:30 a.m. I would like to record at least like 2 more videos and get them posted by tonight. Today, I don't know. I really want to just grind out videos before the end of 2025. Hopefully I could get 10 subscribers or 100 views. So that's all for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever you're watching this, but peace out.